Yep, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. So, this thanks for joining. I was just going to say, let me wait a couple of seconds for people to join in on our live session. Yeah, we've got one person in, and so I think we're just going to go live. So, welcome. Thanks for joining this session. This is the second episode of our Health, Finance, and Wellbeing series. And today we will be looking at discovering yourself. Discovering yourself. It's going to be an amazing time. And I've got a special guest at the studio with me today. She's behind the scene. I'm going to bring her in a moment. But just in case you're going to, this is your first time of watching this, my name is Funmi Ajayobe. I'm a nutrition and lifestyle improvement coach. I am the founder of the Exclusive You Nutrition and Lifestyle Improvement Program, which I started over 10 years ago to help um, people address their nutrition, weight loss, and lifestyle improvement goals using their own diet. Because a lot of people, they've tried so many things. Then there's so many programs out there. The truth is, if you are not able to lose weight or achieve your goals using your own natural diet, the food you eat every day, your normal food, you are not going to be able to succeed with your goals, because if you have to live on pills or miracle juice or all this extreme calorie counting, rigorous activities that you cannot sustain, then you cannot achieve your goals. So I help people to achieve their goals using their own diet, whether you're an African, Asian, English, whatever carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, they are all the same, irrespective of which part of the world you come from. So you just need to understand the basics of food. So, anyway, today we are going on this journey of discovering ourselves. And I have this special guest with me. By the way, just before I forget, I keep forgetting that I'm an author as well. I'm an author of the book, The Meal Planner and Recipe for the Exclusive African Woman. I'm going to put the link later on, but just in case if I forget, so you're aware. So, with me is Layla Kigozi. I'll bring her in and introduce her properly to you. All right. So I've got with me Layla Kigozi. She is a life coach with spiritual well-being niche. She trained with Jay Shetty. Some of you know him, who used to be a monk for years and now helping people to discover themselves. She is a mother of, guess what? 5 amazing children. Honestly, she looks like 20, but she isn't.
Thank you.
The mother of 5 amazing children who herself have gone through the journeys of life. And she's now helping people with similar experiences to break away from what is holding them back from breaking through the obstacles of life. And so, welcome, Layla.
Thank you for me. Thank you.
Great. Good to have you here with
It's,
us.
yeah,
So,
thank you.
I just realized my volume is low. My apologies. I'm just increasing my volume right now. So, yeah. So Layla, life coach. I mean, there's so many
Yes.
things now. I'm a nutrition lifestyle improvement. I think that's quite easier to understand. But when you say life coach, there's so many. There's life coach. There's what do you call it? There's consultant. There's all these different professions and everything, and you're like, what's the difference? What's the difference? We have therapists and all this. Let's start from the little bit. Who is a life coach?
Yeah. Oh, Thank you, Fumi, for introducing me to bring me here on the live today. It's my first time, but thank you. So, a life coach for me is a person who helps you to guide you and take you back to where your sources belongs. So it's like a life coach helps you how to go back. Is the mirror who helps you to go back to yourself and find yourself. Show you the way to come in and pull you back to where you're coming from. It's like a mirror that a life coach, you can come with anything. Sometimes we have a lot of obstacles in life and you don't know how to go through it. A life coach is here to motivate you how to go through the life of journey where you feel it's heavy, where you feel you cannot find the answer. So we are here to push you back to go and find yourself.
That's
How to,
interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting. So basically, you're saying to me that a life coach is somebody who helps you through life. So you're saying to me now that as human beings, maybe everybody at some points we have some obstacles that is blocking us from really seeing where we want to go or where we want to get to. And so your life coach is to help me through that journey to break through whatever is blocking my view from me from seeing through the mirror properly.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So we are here like to help you to when you come to motivate you where you think you have obstacles because as human being we have them but we cannot see. We always don't know how to face our challenges. So I'm here to motivate you to find the answers which you're looking for, to find the anything which you're looking for. So I'm here like a mirror to show you, to guide you to find your own answers,
That is fantastic.
to show you how to do, yeah, how to find your own answers. Not like, like sometimes for me, you go to someone and tells, oh, I have a problem. Someone quickly gives you the idea. But what you're giving that person, that's not what person is suffering. You're just giving her that idea or him, you're giving him that idea. That's it. So he hasn't find his own answers or her own answers, but what you're telling that person is that's what he's going to take.
So, do you then help the person question through in their mind? So,
Exactly.
can you help them to think through? Because, of course, you don't live with them, you haven't journeyed
Yes.
life with them. So, you take them through a thought process whereby they can reflect and identify.
Yeah.
So, you hold them and take them through that process where they can identify the exact blockages in their lives.
Yeah, exactly. Without me telling them that this is the problem, because sometimes people have, we come in and we tell the people that this is the problem, and someone comes in and tell you, oh, I have it, I'm suffering because of this. Quickly, we give them the answers
Mm.
instead of leaving that person to find his own answers. So we definitely give them the answers. So
Ah.
that person has not find his own answers. What he has find, he has gone with your answer, not his answer.
So basically, you are kind of the tool. So you don't help them. You don't tell them this is the
No,
problem, but
no,
you guide them
no,
through that
no,
journey.
I don't. I
Mm.
just guide them to find their own answers.
Ah,
So, yeah.
interesting, interesting. And I know that because we are, I mean, like I already said, for you for joining, if you're joining us for the first time, Layla is a mother of 5 children. So if you're hearing some background noises, hey, that's okay. We
Yeah.
know why. But maybe what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring Layla out in a second in case she wants to have
Yeah.
a chat. And then I'll bring her in a minute while I introduce you to what we're doing. Thank you for those joining. So Layla, I'll just bring you out in case you want to have a chat, and then I'll bring
Okay.
you in a minute. So basically, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your comments. Just to remind you, we are using an OBS, which is StreamYard. OBS is Open Broadcast Service, and this Open Broadcast Service, it's an external service. I mean, you can see how fancy we are with all this technology. We're not a TV, but it just allows us to kind of schedule and do the program, and it allows um, us to kind of be able to have behind the studio and inside the studio. So if you would like to put questions, comments, you would need to please give StreamYard permission for that. And actually, I forgot to put is it the banner? So let me put that right now. Yes. So please, you need to put your questions, and you need to give StreamYard permission to put your questions, your comments, and your answers, or whatever you want to say. So if you're joining us just now, we have our guest, Layla. I'm going to bring her back on. I just wanted to take this break just to let you know what we're doing and what you need to do. So I have just literally asked Layla about who a life coach is, and she has explained to me who a life coach is, and I'm going to be asking her more questions. If you want to discover yourself today, this time or this year, now is the time for you to actually join in. Please share this broadcast as well, because who knows, somebody out there might be in a situation where they have blockages in their lives, where they're like wanting to, they want breakthrough, but they can't really get through. And this is the right time to help them. So please share this right now. I'm bringing Layla back right now.
Yeah.
So
Thank
yes,
you.
thank you so much. So I've just asked the viewers to put their questions there. So we will be getting questions later at the end of this broadcast. So can I just ask you, Layla, why did you go into life coaching? Because it's not kind of a common coaching. I mean, nowadays it is a bit more common, but it isn't something that you would hear of. Years before, coaches used to be footballer coaches, but now coach and then life coach. Why did you get into this?
Yeah, that's a good question for me. Thank you. I think since I was young, for me, I've seen life more deeper. Since I haven't seen my life on surface. Like I have been definitely in my mind, I knew there is more to life. There is more what we see. So, but it's been a journey, searching. I'm like, I wasn't searching, but it's been moving within me because I knew there is something more to life. I knew there is something more to what in usual life, what we see. So it was just one day I just waked up and I could see something more to this, and I'm like, I need to do something more. So spiritually, it's my spirit started to grow and grow and grow. So that's when I came across him, because before I used to have those coaching like spiritual. I had a lady who I used to go work with the spiritual, in the spiritual group, because definitely I knew there's something more to the life until I came across the course I was doing. So when I reached that course, I'm like, this is me and everything, because it's like psychology and there's spiritual and there's a lot of things. So I was like, yeah, mentally, it gave me that peace, that calmness, and I was feeling something more to the life. Yeah.
All
So
right. So you were searching for a deeper meaning of life. You were
of
looking deep.
life, yeah.
Still
Since I
going.
was young, I could see life more deep. But because when you're young, for me, no one can know what you're seeing or your visions, but you just keep on moving in life. But vision was more to other people have been with what they see. So it was more to what other people see. I could not see we don't see the same thing like others. So yeah, that's why I was like, there is more to life. There is more to life, until my journey ended me to where I am now.
Okay. There's a question there. I mean, I know I said we're going to deal with question at the very end, but maybe I could just
Yeah,
ask that right now because I think I asked that at the beginning. But maybe
yeah,
you might want to answer that. So I think Angie, thanks Angie for joining. Thank you, Cynthia. Thanks for others there. I didn't see their names because they didn't comment. But she's asking, what's the difference between a life coach, a therapist, a counselor? Exactly, which is
mm,
yeah. So I wonder whether you want to answer that now because people will think, okay, life coach, therapist, counselor,
mm.
what's exactly the difference between those three categories of instructors or guidance in life? We have all these different people. So what difference is there within the different categories of
Of
people?
a life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you ask a counselor,
Mhm.
life coach is going to help you. Life coach, you ask all of them, the mentally and the life coach therapy will help you to explore what is missing from you, what is
Mhm.
missing from you, or it will explore what how let me give example like to drive a car. Like
Mhm.
therapy will give you how to explore what is stopping you to drive the car. So it's like what's
Okay.
stopping you on your way on this, what is happening. And the counselor is gonna
Mhm.
listen to your problems. He will listen
Mhm.
to your problems, anxieties and stuff like that, which is happening to the car still, or something, anything happening in your life.
Mhm.
And mentor will share the tips which they have, like they will share their tips, the
Mhm.
experience they had, how to drive the car.
Mhm.
So they are going to share their experiences. This is how I had the experiences. So you to understand and can mentor with shared mentor. Who else did you ask for me?
Counselor, therapist, counselor, and a life coach. That what is the difference
Yeah,
between
and
counselor?
counselor is telling you how to drive the car. So a life coach, what he's going to do, he leads you he leads you, show you the way of the
Uh,
issue. Yeah, so that's what the life coach does. But what he does even makes you does not make you to make decisions in life. He wants you to make your own decisions in life to those goals which you want to achieve. That's what the life coach does. Decide, be compassionate with your choices, and
mm,
does not make you to decide what you want in life, does not stop you to find your ways. So he's here to make your path, you to find your path in life. What do you want? But all the answers has to be in you. You have to
okay.
find your own answers within yourself. Like we are like a mirror. We are here to motivate, but to other people who think they are lost. They are thinking that, oh, I cannot find the way. Where can I go? So, how can I deal with this? But will guide you or will stand like a mirror and will push you back where you have to find.
So basically, you're
Yeah.
saying the therapist is the one that is helping you to explore what is stopping you from driving the car, and the
Yes.
counselor will listen to you and the anxieties about the car, and then the
Yeah.
mentor will share tips from their own experiences, blah blah blah, from driving the car, but not
Yeah.
tell you how to drive the car.
Yeah.
And the life coach will encourage and support you
Yeah.
in driving the car. They will not actually teach you. I'll
No.
tell you this is what you need to do, but they will encourage and support you in driving the car along that journey of life.
Exactly.
Okay.
Where you feel fear or I'm feeling like this anxiety and stuff like this. So as we are there to make you find where does that thing comes from or what is
Mm.
happening in your life, or it's but you have to find your own answers.
Answers. So from
I
basically
don't
you help them brainstorm really their thoughts.
exactly to break through that anything which is breaking in their way. So anything, so I make you to help you to see it. And yeah.
I'm going to ask you on a lighter note this question because some people watching, I mean, I'm a Christian. I mean, you are a Christian as well. I know that. But some people might think, I mean, especially Giuseppe, he's a monk. I'm thinking, I hope this life coaching thing is not kind of, oh, it's all this spiritual thing. You close your eyes at night, you put one oil here, put a candle there, put all this. Sorry, I'm exaggerating, but maybe I don't
No,
know.
yeah, it's
You
fine.
like
It's fine.
what a life coach is, who a life coach is. But is it just what you said, or does it involve other spirituality and other this all these things that is making people, I don't know, this close your eyes,
Um,
does it involve that, or it's pure like a psychologist really, talking you through? Is that the process? Is that how it is? I'm just asking for clarity.
yeah.
I'm sure someone's going to ask at some point, but I thought I'll ask that so that we clear that before we get on.
Yeah, for me, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Spirituality is not something where you can go, oh, as you said, it's to discover yourself, who you really are, because we are souls. We are those drops of inside. We have something inside ourselves, So we're here like anyone can, everyone, we are spirit. Everyone can be spiritual, and you don't need to do anything. It's only spiritual. It's to self analyze yourself, finding yourself. What is it? It's
Okay.
being you can, like the way they say meditation, it's to catch the mind so that the soul can be in its place. The soul can have find its own ways and its purpose on this earth. So spirituality is not something which you need to go and do this in. It depends anyway, everyone how they believe. I can't say that, but everyone depends how they believe. But
But for
spiritual,
you, sorry, I'm interrupting now. I wasn't
no,
sure whether you were done yet.
no, that's all right. It's like in nature versus nurture. So our spirit is being, it has its own purpose, and then we have our parents' purpose, so which we need to find. And you can be humble spiritually, you have to be humble, caring and stuff like that. That is all spiritual. Anything you try to go any route, it's all spiritual, because we are such as spiritual human beings in this earth.
Okay. So, I mean, they're right. We're all spiritual beings, whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not. We're all spirit, soul, and body. And so we as individuals, we have the capability within us to
Yeah,
to be able to discover ourselves if we choose to um, explore that area of our life. So now let's go deep into the topic of the day, because now we're discovering who we are. We know who
yeah.
is the life coach. We know the difference between life coach, therapists, consultants, and everything. So discovering who you are. Um, how do we discover ourselves? Why do we even need to discover ourselves? Why? Why? How do we even start? Where do we start?
Yeah, to discover ourselves, for me, we start to first have a self realization. We have to first be awake before you start to, because we walk, but we're sleeping. It's not all, but some of them. For me, it's we are still sleeping. We have to have that light, what they call enlightenment and stuff like that. We need to see the beauty of life, but definitely we live outside of our lives. We live with a lot of anxiety. Uh, we all of us wake up, we have through emotions, feelings, we go through all that. But always we have to blame the outsider of our problems, because no one can come and say, oh, I have this is happening to me. But definitely people, they will always blame outsider. we say, oh, this one has done this, or the other one has done this, or has happened. So that's where the mental starts from, because we have been outside a lot. Our mind, because we are mind over matter, so we let our mind always to be outside. But to discover yourself, who you really are on this earth, that we are that, as I said, that we are those people. This is just a body, it's not something which is carrying us to go places and stuff like that. But definitely we have, this body has been carried by emotions, feelings, actions and stuff like that. But we have, once we analyze ourselves and we wake up through our spiritual within ourselves, you know, by self-realizations, you know where the causes are coming from. You have to analyze yourself. You have to know, this is I, who am I? You're not the emotions, you're not the feelings, you're not the anything which you're doing. So you have that I within yourself. You have to find out that, you know what, before I do this, who am I really? What, who is this doing these things? You know? So as our bodies carried a lot of body cells and stuff like that. So we have our ancestors and stuff that we are carrying them into our body. But so when they come in, when they start, before we do our action, you have to know what is it really happening before it turns to anxiety. Because we have that I'm going, I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. But that that's not you, it's someone else.
So basically, you've already said that it's important that we all discover. Okay, cells. I need to actually dig deeper into why we need to discover ourselves. Maybe I should start with the why first, and then we'll talk more about how to actually discover ourselves. So why do we need to discover ourselves? Really, why is it important that we discover ourselves? Because I mean, people live their day-to-day lives, we eat, we go to work, we sleep, we just we do a lot of things we do, we are on autopilot, but why do
Yeah.
we need to discover ourselves? Is it important to discover ourselves, and if so, why do we need to discover ourselves?
Yeah. We need to discover ourselves. For me, we stop like, because we, most of the world, look the world the way it's going, we are suffering our own selves. We suffer. And who is making you suffer? It's you who is making yourself suffer. Because we need to discover what is the cause, where the problem is coming from, what is really bringing the problem to this cause, to this problem which I'm facing right now. Because we always have to be outside to blame the outsider than blaming ourselves.
Hmm.
So the problem comes and say, oh, the other one, as I said from the beginning, that discovery is very good, that you discover who you really are. Because when you discover your feelings, your emotions, your actions, that leads you, that's when the awareness comes in, that you need to be aware of your actions, feelings, and the things around us. Because when you feel the anxiety, before it gets out of its root, it has to come on the mind. And when it comes on the mind, boo, it's a bomb outside, is it? So it's
So you
gonna come.
So you're saying that there is the problem. I mean, we know this world is there's so much chaos everywhere, and the problems in the world, a lot of it could be solved if individually people discover themselves, because that would enable us to be able to identify the problem and then deal with it. And if one person, each person at a time, personally do this, then in your what you just said, the world will be in a better place pretty much. So we all have responsibilities to play in doing our own playing our own part. So we need to help ourselves first so that we can help other people, and the
Ex-
world will be in a better place. um
Exactly.
okay,
It's
so that
because we've been, yeah. Sorry for you asking.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Yeah, because for me we suffer sometimes. We have traumas, childhood traumas, those all the inner child traumas which I've never discovered because we are in all adult body, but the inner child is really yearning to something, you know. It's like we haven't been, our parents, they've told us something else, and that's what they know, that's what they told us. So we have those traumas we had that which have never healed to into our life, which you have never gone. So a little bit someone can switch the modes, but you need to understand where does that person is coming from, even the way they talk, even the way they do their actions, you know. So you need to balance and get to understand, oh, where does this person is coming from? Because we suffer, we for now, what people who have never, we haven't discovered ourselves, we suffer the cause of our past. We suffer our past. Sometimes you see someone is moving, walking, but the mind is in past, the action is doing is in past.
Mm.
So but the person is going to do things accordingly to that what has gone. So we keep on fighting, doing this, doing that, but you don't know what's bringing that cause. But when you discover yourself and come back to yourself, you find where the anxiety, the problem is coming from, what is bringing this, what, you know, it's a journey which is not going to be 1 day or 3 days. So you start to analyze and understand, and so you have to have the self-realization in life, so of your actions,
Mm.
of feelings.
All right. So that means, because you said something earlier in this course of conversation, you said, so if we don't discover ourselves and identify the problem, then we begin to blame other people. We think it's them. I mean, from African, I know, I don't know who from some other culture, but I know for sure in African, some people that believe in spirituality really will say,
Mm,
"Oh, it's someone in my mother's village. They are the cause of my problem. They do
yeah,
some voodoo, juju to make me this, to
yeah.
make me that," and they don't really. So what you're saying to me, I mean, in my coaching program, the first program actually, I help people to identify the root cause. So because if you don't identify root causes of problem, and you just be dealing with the symptoms. So people will be. I mean, somebody might be having high temperature and they're not feeling well, and like, oh, what's the problem? And you like
Mm,
you eat, the first thing you take is paracetamol or
yeah,
ibuprofen or whatever, which you will
yeah.
take to take the temperature up, which will kind of
Mm,
work in a while. But if the
yeah.
problem is bigger than that, if the problem is, say, you have an infection, for example,
Mm,
you are not going to get better until you actually deal with the root cause by using an
yeah.
antibiotics to help cure that infection. The
Mm,
paracetamol is just going to mask the pain and the temperature temporarily. It wouldn't solve the
yeah.
problem, but you need to go and address and identify exactly why are you getting this temperature. Those are like the symptoms. So what you're saying
Exactly.
to me, in our journey of life, a lot of us, we have situations whereby we are struggling, we are not progressing, we are unable to get to where we want to get to. And that's because there are some barriers in our life, some
Mm,
traumas, some childhood experiences, maybe because of the way our parents brought us up, our family, the settings, environmental factors, and all these things. They affect our ability to thrive, to be who we ought to be, to flourish, because those blockages are there in our system. And some of all these things are holding us back in our mind, in our spirits. And whatever we do in life, we're struggling, we're thinking, why am I not able to do this? And it's because behind our brain, behind our mind, those things are holding us back, and they're not allowing us to be able to be who we are meant to be on this planet. I mean, is that a
exactly.
good explanation of what you just
Yeah,
said?
yeah, that's very good for me. Yeah, because when we our parents born us, that's when I go back to nature versus nurture. It's we grow the nature definitely. Like your parents tells you do that, do this, do this, do this, do this. You're growing without your own choices. You're growing according to your parents' choices. But definitely, the nature has its own manners that you, oh, this is what is going to happen. That's why you see we go cycles. Women, sometimes we have periods, we have this is happening. So it's, that is in nature. That's what it does. It's something which we have to do. That's what we go through. So, but here, then it comes that you have to go back. Some of them we put through fear. We have the fear, we have the this. So when the fear comes in, because we have our validations, we think for validations, we think we have to let our people to accept us before we accept ourselves. We have to be like, people has to love us. So if someone doesn't love me, I don't love myself, because that's what they told me. I need to love someone before I love myself. So they put us outside, which is not bad. It's our beliefs and stuff, which is not bad, that makes us strong. But definitely, they did not teach how to go back and find the best. Like they tell you, don't be confident, don't do this, da 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 da. But as we have to, the confidence, the everything, patience and stuff is within you, happiness, joy and stuff like that. So everything you have it. But what we have, it's, don't do that. So before, every time you grow up, even if you have to grow your spirit to grow, you're going to be scared. You stay in your comfort zone. You stay, every time you can't do anything, because you have not healed these traumas which you've gone through in life. You have not break them. That's why sometimes people get into mental, because sometimes they don't know what to do. They don't know what's the cause. They sometimes they find that they don't know what's the cause of the problem. But because the cause of the problem is on the root, some of them it's in the root, and it goes into the mind. And when it reaches the mind, there's nothing they can do, because you have to catch your mind to understand that this, now I'm in my mind, I need to control it, I need to do this, I need to do that. So yes, that's what happened in life, and we go
So
through those
we
steps.
need to love ourselves pretty much, because
Yeah,
sometimes if we don't love ourselves and we're trying to please others and trying to do all these things, we neglect ourselves. But we are equally important in this journey of life, and not
exactly.
just go after everybody else and neglect ourselves. As individual
Yeah,
beings, we're all spiritual beings ourselves. And we if you don't help yourself, how can you help others? I mean, when you go on the plane, they tell you before you
mm,
help, if you get any emergency seat belts, make sure you get yours sorted first before you can
exactly.
help
Yeah,
other people.
yeah,
Because otherwise, if you don't learn how to love yourself, how can you love others? And also, you were talking about the nurture and the nature. So, in terms of everybody, we all have our personality, our individual personality with
exactly. Yeah,
differs from people to people. But we also
yeah,
have the nurture bit where we can actually nurture and improve ourselves to become a better version of
yeah,
ourselves. By nurturing
yeah,
ourselves, we can, we can thrive, we can learn more things because everybody is skilled in different aspects. So when we improve ourselves and nurture ourselves, nurture includes us learning other things and whatever that can help us become a better version of ourselves.
mm,
So where do we actually start from? So, okay, I want to discover myself. What is the first thing I need to do? Where do I even start from? How do we start this journey of, okay, now from today, Saturday, 19th of February, I want to discover myself. Where do I start from? What do I do first? How do I start this journey?
yeah, yeah. That's a good question. Yeah, for me. Um, to discover yourself, there's some. That's a good question. That discovering, it's first, I think I'll talk through my experience, that sometimes the children, and nowadays kids are being born with understanding. They are really aware of everything what is going on. So our generations, which they have it, they didn't know that children, they've been born with some talents, with everything. Because to discover yourself, mine, I was like, before I was born, I was aware of things, but I didn't know. But definitely, I knew that I was aware of the situations, what is going around, but I didn't know how to explain it, and I didn't know how to say it. But I could see things. But if you start to discover yourself, you need to be first aware of your feelings, actions, and your emotions. Sometimes you need to know, it's like you're planting a tree. You need to dig and know that I need to clear here, I need to do this. So before to you discover yourself, you need to accept. Before you blame anyone, before you do something, go to acceptance. You need accepting yourself, because if you don't accept yourself, you're not going to have that grace is not going to come to you. You need to be accepting, because once you're accepting yourself, you're accepting your heart inside. It's not that, oh, I accept my body. Yeah, this body is here, it helps us to carry us to go all over the place. But acceptance, which is a favor we have to, I think I would say from God, but you have to accept yourself. That's a big step. Even if anything which is happening, accept. It's hard to accept, but you need to accept it. Once you accept it, the work will start. The journey, you start going through the journeys of life and say, okay, don't mourn, do it's like don't mourn, don't do anything. You have to come back and say, okay, this has happened. I'm accepting myself. I'll say, like, I'll bring it's something in the Bible, like when Jesus said that stay still. You have to stay still. When the boat was going all over, he said, stay still. So accept that, move and be quiet, be silent. So you have to accept that something which and say, okay, forgive yourself for accepting yourself. Forgive yourself too. So before you accept and you forgive yourself whatever it's gone through in your life, and stay. So the journey will start.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, it just makes sense because you want to start, you want to make a decision. You need a quiet space. You
Yeah.
need to decide. Number one, you need to love yourself. You need to accept yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Accept that I'm a unique individual. God created me on this planet. I am a special. I mean, for me to be part of, nobody has a choice in us being here.
Mm.
But God has kept me here. There's a reason. So accept
Mm.
yourself. You're special.
Yeah.
Accept yourself that you need to discover yourself. You want to um, improve. You want to identify the problem. So that's the first one. You need to also create that quiet space in your head and physically where you can sit back, reflect on the past, on issues about your life, about your journeys of life, about things that might have contributed to you
Mm.
having the kind of experience you have, or maybe sometimes a lot of people are not even confident because of the
Mm.
upbringing, the happiness and everything. So you
Yep.
need to find that quiet space. You need to
Yep.
reflect, observe. You need to know that the past is past, but you need to kind of see which parts of that journey of life made you to be where you are, and what can you do right now to move you ahead from that
Mm.
situation. Obviously you need an intervention to a life coach like you who will help you, talk you through this journey, because it's not quite an easy process. You can
Yeah.
start it yourself or
Yeah.
visiting a life coach, but these
Mm.
are the kind of the structure, the process that would you'll be taken through to get you to that point where you identify
Mm.
um, what the issues are.
Yeah.
And I would also add to say that sometimes, because I know in the corporate world you don't have to do your personality test. You need to do your what is it called, strength finder, to identify what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. You need to know what makes you tick, because sometimes we might think that, oh, we're really good at a particular area,
Mm.
whereas maybe There are some other areas where we're excellent, we're thriving, we don't even know it. It just comes with natural with us. And maybe those
Mm,
are the areas we really should be
yeah.
focusing on and exploring. And then, because sometimes when you are in a particular way, it may be that that is not even the right place for you. But not until you
Mm,
actually sit back, explore and reflect, get that quiet space, think back, observe, look at things, and then you might think, you know what? This journey of life, these past experiences, this trauma had brought me here, but this is not where I want to be. This is who I
mm,
would like to be. This is what I would like to be. And then through this test, strength finder, whatever, or this personality test, it will help you to identify. It may not be 100%, but at least it gives you an indication of how or who you are. Also, it could also be that you might need to find people. I remember when I was doing my master's, I don't know, maybe this is
mm.
applicable to life, which I just wanted to chip
Yeah.
this in. I had to do a, what does it call it? I had to ask for feedback. So I had to go to my colleagues, friends, people, fill in
Mm,
a email and then ask for feedback for my strengths, for my weaknesses, for what do they think about me,
yeah.
what are my behaviors, everything. So help me see who I really am,
Mm,
and to help me to be able to know what I need to improve on, how I could
yeah.
be a better version of myself,
Yeah.
because sometimes we may not necessarily know. We might be thinking one way, whereas maybe other people are seeing us in a different way. Is this something that you kind of do along your own coaching, or maybe not? Or
Yeah.
you may do differently? I don't know. I'm just asking
Yeah. It's
genuinely.
like what you're asking, like someone is seeing you in another way. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, I'm asking that maybe as part of the life coaching, do you actually have a process whereby you ask people to find out about themselves, what people think about them? I mean, maybe not.
Yeah.
To explore and
Yeah.
ask questions, get feedback from people about,
Mm,
of course, you have to have feedback from people who knows you very well, and be
yeah.
ready and willing to accept constructive feedback, because sometimes people, if they don't know you well, they may give you a version of who you don't even think that that is
Yeah.
anything what you think about yourself.
Mm. I
So I
think.
don't. Sorry,
Go
did you
on.
get my question? Did you get my
Yes.
question, or
Yes.
should I
Yes, I did.
elaborate further?
Yes, I did. I did.
Okay.
The question what you ask, I think, on our side, we do it. It's you have because we do even when the mind is telling you, oh, maybe I'm not enough or something like that. I don't know if that's what you asked, but as we do like when the voices comes into your head because we deal with on my side like people to wake up to know what their action is, what they are feeling, what is comes into their mind, because for me no one is judging you, no one is judging us, we do everything to ourselves. I think that's what you've asked. But
Yeah.
if I'm here and I say for me, oh, I'll think, if I think that you think I'm stupid or I'm clever or I'm beautiful, I'm going to feel that because that's what I think you think. But if I'm like, okay, I don't care, this is me, it's not because I don't care about it, saying, okay, this is me, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But if the mind has to be there to chat, to tell us what to do, but sometimes you need to find out the answers. Yeah, they will give you that, okay, today they will guide us that, okay, you did this, you didn't have to tell the client this, you didn't have to tell the client to feel sympathy or to do this, you have to let the client be herself and find herself. You're not there to catch her emotions, you're there to feel them, to understand where he comes from, no judgment, nothing. Then push her back where you feel that block is, so that she can melt it and understand. But she has to melt it herself. So I think that's, I don't know if I've answered your question, if I got it right.
Yeah, no, I mean, what you've even said is actually important, because
Yeah.
it's really important for people to know that, yeah, you are not there to tell them exactly what to do, but you are there
No.
guide them and support them along their thought process to help them to get them in the direction where they want
Exactly.
to go. And yeah, so that's quite important for people to know. We were going to be going into a question and answer. We've got
Yeah.
10 minutes left.
Yeah, okay. It's because
Minutes.
for me, it's because when you do when you guide people and tell them, that's what from the beginning, that if you tell me that, oh, I have a problem, quickly I come out with my own answer. That's not your answer. So you're going to go with my answer. So which is not, you have not blocked out that problem. I need you to come out. Oh, this is so I'll light the torch and you make the way.
So you're the torchlight. You put the torchlight
Yeah.
into their life.
So
Then,
where you want to go, and then you
yeah.
say, okay, it's here.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's amazing. It's good
Yeah.
to know because I wanted to ask. I don't know whether I'm able to ask this because we only have like 9 minutes left, and I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be checking the questions in a moment.
Mm.
Because I'm thinking, okay, how do you improve yourself? Okay, they've asked you this question. How do you improve yourself? And can people slip back when they've gone through the therapy process? Can they? Is it a permanent place once they're fine, or I mean, I don't think anything is perfect
Yeah.
in life, but I'm just
Mm.
thinking if people discover themselves, is there a possibility that they slip back after breaking those habits? um how do you handle that?
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, you can slip back for me. We do slip back every time. But if you start, you have to break, you have to break out the habit which you think it's hard for you. You have to break it out, and you have to know that this was the problem, so that next, even if you're slipping back, you can still come back and say, oh, I don't want to go back there. So it's breaking out the bad branches which you think, no, I need to break out this, I need to break this, I need to get off this, I need to get out of this. So when you're slipping back, but before, you need to be aware what you're breaking out, that I really don't need this. So, and you write and say, I don't need this, and you have to be consistent on what you don't want. So you say, I don't want this, I'm going to be consistent on this, and you write it down. So in case when you're going back, you know, oh,
Mm,
I'm going back, so you can still come back to where you
ah,
want. Yeah.
that's fantastic. So
That is
basically, stop feeding the negative emotions. So we once we know that these
exactly.
emotions are negative, they're not helping us, we
Yeah.
should stop feeding those negative emotions. We should
Exactly.
write it down. I mean, honestly, this everything is really important.
Yeah.
Write it down to
Because
remind ourselves so that this particular habit that is causing a blockade in our lives,
exactly.
once we kind
Yeah.
of have it written down, we know that we are not meant to go back into it. And even if we do,
Exactly.
once it's written down, we can always refer back to that to help us not
Exactly.
go back.
Because when we
So,
before we wake up in this morning, we have emotions, feelings, and every time. So they make us to make the step. So you have to know what you want and what you don't want. So you need to take it out, and you feel like this is not for me, or this I can't take it. You break it and build a new one.
mm, all right. So I'm just looking at questions. We've already answered the one of the who is a life coach therapist. What's the difference between life coach therapist and a counselor? Cynthia mentioned, she commented earlier, it makes us aware and confident of ourselves. All right. Thank you, Cynthia. That probably she mentioned that a little while ago. I'm just reading the comments now. Apologies. Well, I said I'm going to do that at the end. Lisa, thanks for joining. She's put a question here. Thank you, Fumi, for such an interesting conversation on one of life big questions. A lot to ponder on. So thank you both. My question to the lovely guest, who is Layla Kigozi? So she's asking you, who are you? It's a big
Yeah.
question here for you, Layla. I can't answer that for you, but I'll let you answer that, who you are.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for asking that question. Layla Kigozi is a mother of 5 children, single mother of 5 children, a woman who finds herself in the spiritual journey, who has gone through all over the life of journey. So, and I've discovered myself, which has brought myself like things. A woman who is a spiritual, who has discovered herself, bring joy, peace, and happiness. So yeah.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. You discovered yourself, and now you want to help people to discover themselves through the journeys of life.
Of life.
We're all emotional beings. We desire love, happiness. We want wonderful life, breakthrough, everything. But desiring alone is not going to help us. We
Yeah.
need deliberately take action, take certain steps to allow us to get through that journey.
Mm,
A seed
yeah.
has to go through the process of growing through to the soil. The process isn't straightforward. It has to be nurtured. We have to water it. We have to allow sunshine to shine over it. There's
Mm,
time for clearing, watering it, and making sure we nurture it for the plants to grow and flourish and bring forth good fruits.
yeah.
So this journey of life of discovering ourselves is about. So, wow, we've only got 4 minutes to go.
Mm,
I'm going to see whether we have any more questions. Thank you so much for all those who have joined us tonight. We have a few people that we don't know who they are, but hopefully they will be watching later. Yeah, thank you for joining. For those that have commented, we can see your comments. For those that haven't, if you have any questions, can you please drop it now? We only have 4 minutes to go. Either about the discovering journey of who we are, or anything else about along this side. Oh, thank you so much, Cynthia. She said, thank you, ladies. So, any more questions before we go? While people are thinking of questions, I've got one question. I saw a post of yours.
yeah.
This is your little kid. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
She was talking about you can be who you want to be. You need to be yourself. Even if you want to be a princess, you have the capabilities of becoming a princess. It's not just about doing anything and willing, it's
Yeah.
about being kind and this. And I'm like, this is like a 4-year-old talking.
Yeah.
Step into your goodness, speak up for yourself. Don't let anyone change you from who you want to be. You
Yeah.
and I'm like, what? In another video, she was talking about appreciating yourself.
Yeah.
Layla, how does that work? How does that even work? How do you get your 4-year-old to
Yeah.
do to say that? Did you tell her to say that? How did
No,
that get in her head? How
I did not.
is it? Can you please
Yeah.
help me?
Yeah, for me, as I said, because of the minutes which are left, so I'll be quick. As I said, for me, that children, we've been born with all of us with talents, knowledge, understanding. Everyone has that. But when we come here on this earth, we've been blocked with a lot of things. The cycle. That's why I said I always tell people. I give them example that the is it cobweb like the house of the spider, which builds up, so when you enter there, you'll be catched out. So all of us, we have talents. We have our spirit has talents. It's here to do its purpose. So the children, they just started talking, but I give them that right. It's because we break through those cycles of our parents. So we break through the generations and generation, what your parents told you and this and this. So if you see it doesn't work for you these days, we need to give our children right to open them through inside, because when they go to school they teach them everything, but they need to, when it's we parents who needs to open them, to give them that guide, confidence, patience, and stuff, like, because they're not gonna teach them. So, but we have to say, like, yeah, you have a right. You can talk to me, and I'll take that voice, and I can listen. So you need to boost them up, like you can say something. So the more you weed out that way for them, it makes life for them easier to stand up for themselves and to bring that knowledge which they have within themselves.
Amazing. So basically, you kind of nurturing your kids so
Yeah.
that as a young child, as young at young age, they are
Yeah.
able to have that mindset so that they can grow to thrive,
Yeah.
so that they can actually prevent some of these blockages in
Yeah.
life, and
Yeah.
so that they can be a different person, a different generation from you and I, from our
Exactly.
kind of past. That is amazing. I mean, this is what
Because in life they are going to start, we're gonna find a lot of obstacles, as I said, emotions, feeling and stuff. They all comes within ourselves, but we need to sit there, and they have to understand that you have to know it's not beating them, is let them say what they want to say. Analyze where the problem is coming from. It's like fear. Analyze that, oh, she's talking through the state of fear, or negativities, oh, this and this. You say, no, you have to be in this state to balance, but you don't tell her, but you need to balance. What could you say there? So you have to let them understand that they have a spirit within themselves. We cannot capture them into the body of their mind. The mind has to rule over. You need to capture them, nurture them, tell them, okay, this is why you are, tell me. So you build that confidence, you build that, you give them the right to stand for themselves through inside, because that's what the spiritual does.
fantastic. So basically, you're kind of giving that like a bulletproof, like a cushion
Exactly.
of life, so that
Ex-
when life throws lemon to them, they can make it lemonade because they are already aware. They're kind of
exactly.
more knowledgeable about these things, so that when it
Exactly.
hits them, they don't fall flat. They
No.
know it's going to come, and they have ready-made tools that would guide
Exactly.
them through that journey of life without allowing them to fall flat during the
So
process.
yes,
That is
yeah.
amazing. Honestly, that is fantastic. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
We
And
need
I,
to nurture. Yeah, we need to nurture our children and give them, because our generation is being different generation to generation. So our parents told us this, and even as we passed it to this generation. Because, but it's the time you have to be aware. You need to let them to be aware, and
hmm. Oh, is that my internet? Oops. Any.
awareness. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's about awareness.
Oh, fantastic. I'm telling you, it's 2 minutes past 9. We're meant to finish at 9 on the dot, but hey, 2 minutes is not bad. Wow, it's been amazing tonight. Thank you so much, Layla.
No
It's been a
problem.
wonderful time. You have
No.
given me so much information about things that I didn't know before. And now I just have to kind of, get myself to that point because you know what? In life, there's never a time that you can start anytime, basically.
Yeah.
So wherever you are at this point in time, start to discover yourself. And I will be going to sit back and reflect on my life personally and to reflect and see through my journeys of life and where I really want to get to. So thank you
Because
so
we've been born with that soul is already aware. We come on this earth with awareness, but not everyone gets it. But when you get it, you want to enjoy it. Yeah, the
much.
universe will give it to you back.
Fantastic. Yes,
Yeah.
I can't wait to have you on another episode just to talk more because I know there is more on your plate, but we're
Yeah.
just this foundational aspect first, and then yeah, we will deal with the rest later. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for joining, and for everybody who joined us. Thanks for all your time. Thanks for your comments. Thank you so much. And we're gonna be signing out now until another time. Bye bye.